What's up, family? Starting off, we have multiple good news stories to share with you today. Starting off with the first story in regards to the company Boeing, in which the CEO has announced that he will be stepping down at the end of this year. Now, for those that don't know, Boeing is a manufacturing of aircrafts, large planes, commercial planes, that is, and they have been having a lot of trouble since the early part of 2020 before the pandemic, in which multiple planes, specifically referring to the Boeing 737 MAX plane, it has been having major trouble ever since it was introduced, in which a few of the planes actually went down, killed people, as well as you guys remember a couple of weeks ago in which the door came off while flying mid-air. So just a lot of crazy things have been happening since then, and this announcement came a couple of days ago in which the CEO is now stepping down. Now, because of this news, the stock ended up going almost about 2% higher, which is really not that much, guys. $2.66. That stock is sitting at around $191 right now. And let me remind you, before the incidents in regards to the 737 MAX planes, the stock was sitting almost around $400. And we really haven't seen that price for a very long time. So obviously the CEO is stepping down right now as large issues continue to mount up. We just saw last week where one of their previous employers, the whistleblower in regards to the issues with the 737 MAX plane, ended up being found dead. And he actually told individuals that anything ever happens, it was not a suicide attempt. So yes, guys, a lot of people are looking towards Boeing or its representatives in regards to this particular death. Guys, things are just not going well, but it does look like the CEO will be stepping down before the end of this year. Now, I wish it was him stepping down like tomorrow, but unfortunately, it won't happen until later on this year. Now, moving on to some other news, and depending on how you view this news or not, whether it is good for you and your family or not good for you and your family, but the state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis ended up signing a bill. And yes, guys, this is crazy. He is pretty much almost banning social media from our children. Yes, Florida DeSantis signs one of the country's most restrictive social media bans for minors. Take a look at this right here, guys, where the bill will ban social media accounts for children under 14 years old and require parental permission for 14 and 15-year-olds. It was slightly watered down from the proposal that previously came out by Ron DeSantis, which was voted on earlier this month. But anyways, the new law was Republican Speaker Paul Renner's top legislative priority, and it does take effect next year on January the 1st. Now, in a statement, it says that a child in their brain development doesn't have the ability to know that they're being sucked in to these addictive technologies and to see the harm and step away from it. And because of that, we have to step in for their children. Yes, this was a statement directly from Renner, which is the Republican speaker. But anyways, guys, I do want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think about this? Especially if you have children, do you agree with this particular law that is only signed in Florida? Or do you believe that something like this needs to be pushed down on a federal level to every 50 states? Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Comment down below. I know me, I have a 13-year-old child, and I do not allow him to be on any social media, YouTube, Instagram, or Snapchat, or any of those. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Please take the time to comment down below. Don't forget to hit the like button for me, as it really helps out this channel. Now, moving on, guys, to some other good news. Now, this is in regards to the former president, Donald Trump, in which he received word here recently, within the last 72 hours, that his net worth has now soared to around $6.5 billion. Now, this is after the company that he started a few years ago ended up announcing that they are going to be going public, and the shares, they actually went up, guys. So yes, this is the media company in which I believe is called Truth Social. Social, or the parent company of Truth Social, which is a shell company known as DWAC. Some of you may have already heard about it, but anyways, Bloomberg has announced this information that his net worth has increased. And for those that don't know, Bloomberg actually tracks about 500 of the wealthiest people in the world. And they have come out with this information saying that we can attest that Trump's net worth has increased to about $6.5 billion. Now, I believe prior to that, it was sitting at around $3 billion or $2 to $3 billion. So anyways, this is a large increase. He has pretty much doubled his net worth. So anyways, whether you like him or not, kudos to Trump for definitely making that increase in those billions of dollars. I wish you would pass some of that to the American people. But anyways, that is the first story that I want to talk about. But the second story in regards to Trump, he did receive some other good news on Monday as well. Yes, he received information that different people that were working on the case in New York, in which he had that large bond of around $445 million, which he did state that he could not make that bond. It was just too much money. He would have to liquidate majority of his real estate, his properties, and other types of assets in order to come close to making the bond in that particular decision that came out in New York court. Well, anyways, the good news is that it came out on Monday that it was a surprise decision and a lifeline, they are saying. And now that particular bond went from around above $400 million to now $175 million. This was a huge decision that came up. And as you can see, it says that Trump New York fraud bond was cut to $175 million in an appeal from the original $454 million. Yes, according to the news information that Trump's lawyers in a court filing last week said that it was impossible for him to get an appeal bond of $454 million to satisfy the judgment in that particular amount, having approached more than 30 surety companies without any success whatsoever. Well, the ruling came on the same day that New York Attorney General Letitia James could start seizing the former president's real estate assets and his bank accounts to satisfy that particular judgment. And that judgment was also going up even higher because of the interest applied to it as it continues to go on without making a payment. Well, guys, the good news is that that amount has now been lowered. This is a huge thing and a huge win, a little bit of a win for Donald Trump. The previous lawyers asked that the appeal bond in the case be set to around $100 million. They didn't necessarily get that amount, but they did get close to it, $175 million. This is huge, guys. And he did put out a statement yesterday saying that he would like to thank the appellant panel for working to reduce the bond in this particular civil fraud case. This was a huge win for Donald Trump, like I said. And as you guys know, he really doesn't have that much money right now because he recently had to pay another bond of around $75 to $80 million for that other chick that ended up suing him and taking him to court as well. So a lot of money has been leaving the pockets of Donald Trump, and this is just one more thing that he has to worry about. But the good news is that it has been cut by more than half of the amount, $175 million. Now, the biggest question is, does he have that money to actually pay that bond? Does he have enough money or enough people to provide enough money to him in support to pay that bond as well? It could be the same issue that he had with receiving enough money for the $454 million bond as well. We don't know as of yet, but he did take the time to go ahead and send up a little bit of praise to this particular panel for working in his favor. Take a look at this right here, guys.
It will be my honor to post, and we'll post whatever is necessary, whether it be cash or security or bonds. It was a decision we appreciate and respect the appellate division very much. And we will, I think, do very well in that whole thing. We have a judge who I believe is a crooked judge and a crooked attorney general. Absolutely crooked. We did nothing wrong at all, 100%. And that was proven, and everybody there said it was proven. All you have to do is read the legal scholars, and you see that it was proven. But we will continue with that, but we appreciate very much the decision of the appellate division. Thank you very much.
So yes, like I said, he took a little bit of time just to thank them very much, even though he disagreed with the particular ruling from this particular court. And you guys heard it in his voice, and you guys know the story. I don't need to repeat it. But anyways, this is a huge win for Trump. So kudos to him for that. And then last but not least, this is not necessarily some good news in regards to Trump. However, it is some good news in regards to the American people, because some people, they still want to know the results of one of his latest coming up cases that he has to go to court with in regards to the hush money. Yes, the judge has ruled that the trial will officially start on April the 15th. Now, previously, Trump has been trying to get this pushed back in multiple attempts in which his lawyers have been fighting very hard for not just this particular case, but all the other cases as well. Let's just say that Trump is pretty busy right now, guys. You guys already know, but anyways, Trump was not successful in regards to pushing this particular trial back until after the election in November. So this trial will begin in less than 30 days. So we will see exactly what went on in this particular case, how they are going to rule against or for Trump. Yes, guys, we still don't know. We have a lot of information, and we don't necessarily know what is true and what is not true, but we will find out hopefully soon, and we'll just have to see what the judge decides in the end in regards to this particular hush money trial that is set to begin on April the 15th. So again, I believe that this is almost the last case that Trump has to worry about. You guys can fact check me on that if you will, but if it's not the last case, it is probably the second to the last case. So hopefully Trump can be finally done with everything or get close to it after the end of this particular hush money case. So anyways, guys, like I said, a lot of good information in regards to Trump today, in regards to some other things in the news as well. But definitely, if you get an opportunity, comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow as usual. So anyways, I would appreciate the opportunity. And outside of that, I hope to see you guys on the next video.